Hey dance teachers, dancers, and lovers of all things dance, Miss Shauna here, and it is the end of the month, so it is time for my favorite thing, checking in on the fun, funny, and valuable things you learned in dance class. All right, so it is the end of November. We are wrapping up another great month of dance. The weather is turning. We finally had our first snowfall here in Winnipeg, and it came down and it looks so pretty though. So I am a winter person. I like winter. I'm okay with the snow. Nonetheless, it is time for us to sit back and have a few minutes together to look at the fun, funny, and valuable things we learned in dance. And if you've never seen one of these episodes before, I like to take a moment to reflect every month just so that I have a chance to sit in what I do as a dance teacher, right? You have to have, as a dance teacher, things need to be mutually beneficial. And it may always feel like you are giving of yourself to your students to help them grow and learn and evolve. But there has to be something in return for you. And I have found that when I can find things that have been fun, things that have been funny and like literally made me laugh throughout the month, and just maybe a valuable takeaway, a lesson or two that I've learned throughout the month, that just really like hammers home why I do what I do, and it gets me excited for the next month to keep showing up and being the dance teacher that I am. So let's dive right in. Okay, let's start with the fun. So, I don't know, fun is different for everybody. Your level of fun or what you find fun might be different than mine. So, and same thing with my funnies and my valuables, but this is mine, and if there's anything that resonates with you, please feel free to comment on that, or if you have your own fun, funny, and valuable, feel free to share that as well. But my fun this month was I started all my elite choreography. So I get a chance to get into the room with like my soloists or my duo trio dancers and dive right in, setting their piece. I think it's always fun for me because you kind of when you set a piece, when you do like a bulk choreo set, you're throwing a ton at a dancer in a very short period of time, and it can be a lot for them to grasp, but there is also a lot of bonding that can happen, right? There's a lot of trust that can be built and a lot of growth that can just happen in even just an hour and a half with your dancer. And I find that really fun to kind of dive into that, to create a piece around a dancer, especially for my soloists, to create a piece that really suits them, that lives in their space, that makes them feel like they can go forward through the rest of the season and really accomplish anything, really. I was going to say accomplish, like, and I was going to give a list, but really accomplish anything, whether that's a new skill, a performance goal, feedback, whatever it is that they're hoping to get out of it. I really enjoy kind of the start of that process. It is also holiday dance prep. And actually, I'm going to talk about that in the next episode, how to bring a little bit of holiday fun into your dance class. But we have started some holiday dance prep, and I've gone through a few different things, right? So some of my dancers, when I do holiday dance time, I use it as a way to kind of review the skills and techniques they've been working on. So all of the things they've been working on go in to make a little holiday combo. And then I'm like, okay, good, we're ready to move on. For others though, for example, my older dancers, my senior jazz class, I'll use this as the example, they're getting older now as performers, and a lot of them are assistant teachers. And I decided it was time for them to take over the choreography. So we've been doing choreo exercises with them so that they can take ownership of the holiday dance that they're creating. And it's been really fun to watch their like young minds work, because the first day I was like, okay, you guys are going to choreograph this dance yourself. And they like stared at each other and didn't say words. And these are people who have danced together for years. They're friends, and they were just like, we don't know what to do. And then I was like, okay, I'm leaving the room. Like, I'm obviously making you guys nervous. And I left, and then I started to hear creativity start to be discussed, and then I started to hear them moving around, and I was like, okay, creativity's in motion. And then I went back into the room, and I was really pleased with what they'd come up with. And so it is a fun exercise to do that way. Okay, moving on to the funny. My dancers are funny like all the time. And I think I'm really blessed in the fact that they are okay to kind of let down their walls and just be goofy and funny with me. I feel like we all need that a little bit. But they also, in their funniness, can be a little bit sassy. And part of me is like, excuse you? But also part of me is like, yes, own that. Own that. I work with a lot of young women and I want them to be okay to be sassy and opinionated and say what's on their mind. And I think that's so beautiful when they do. So I had on my desk at the studio an apple. I was going to eat it. It was my snack. I was going to eat it before teaching. And so it's just sitting on my desk. And this little 7-year-old comes in, looks me like dead in the face. Miss Shauna, why is there an apple on your desk? Like just disgusted at me. And I was like, because I'm gonna eat it. Like I was confused. I was like, what are you talking about? And she straight up, dead faced, looked at me and went, oh. And like walked away. And I looked, because my mom works in the office, like on the other side of the room. And I was like, what just happened? Like, do most people not eat apples? Like if there is an apple, you assume we're going to eat it. And for like 4 days, I thought about like, why in the world are we so confused about why there is an apple? And don't we just eat it? Well, fast forward like a week later, I'm setting this little 7-year-old's older sister. I'm setting up dance for her. And I had a banana in the room with me because it's going to be going for 3 hours. I'm like, we're going to need a little snack in between. I'm old. I need a snack. And literally her sister and her duo partner went, why do you have a banana? Again, same level of disgust. And I was like, what is happening in your generation? Do you not eat fruit? And it blew my mind and it made me laugh. And I was like, you know what? It is what it is. I guess I'm the only person who actually eats fruit as a snack. I don't know, maybe. But it definitely gave me a really good chuckle because they were so serious about their fruit questions. Maybe that's not funny as I retell that story, but let me tell you, when there's these little people looking at you going like, why do you have that? And then just straight disgust. I was like, I'm just going to eat it. I'm sorry. So it's kind of cute. Also, I was invited by a young group of dancers to join their group chat and go shopping, which I think was so sweet and angelic. I also turned them down because that's weird because I'm old, right? There's no need for a 42-year-old woman to be in a 10-year-old's group chat. I just don't need to be there unless I am the parent that is overseeing the group chat because it's my child. There is no need for me to be in that group chat, but it was very sweet that they invited me into the group chat. Also, there was an artist, and I'm not going to say the artist's name because I don't need anyone to come at me in the comments or anywhere. There's a musical artist who is not my favorite. Never has been. I've always been open about it. I'm going to say it's not Taylor Swift because my dancers will be like, was it Taylor Swift? Because I often say I'm not a Swiftie because I'm not. I respect her as an artist, but whatever. There's another musical artist that I'm not a fan of. And I was teaching a move to these kids and they're like, is it like a dance, like in that video? And I was like, I haven't seen the video. And they were like, oh, what? They're like, she's going to come for you. I was like, she probably doesn't know me. They're like, she's going to come for you. You should probably lock the studio doors. They like straight up threatened me. And I thought it was hilarious. They were fully convinced this artist was going to come at me for not liking their music. And I was like, wow. But again, I think it is super fun and funny and sweet that my dancers are okay to just like know how to read the situation and be like, we can joke and we can play and we can have some fun right now. And we really kind of evolve the relationship and the teacher-student dynamic in a way that we are comfortable, we can be ourselves. And I really enjoy that. And the fact that we just get to laugh about it is pretty cute. The valuable this month, I feel like there was so much valuable, like I should just make a separate video of that, but we only have so much time in the day. We only have so much time to make these videos. So like November it felt like it was a very hectic month and there was a lot going on. And if you're a studio owner, so whenever I start these videos, I say, hey, dance teachers, but we often forget that if you are a studio owner and a teacher, you have 2 jobs and they are very separate. One requires you to run a business. The other requires you to teach dance. And my November was very much like those 2 jobs were busy as all could be. So things you don't think about that will throw a wrench in your day, quite literally, is a broken front door to your dance studio when it's -7 outside, -7 Celsius, and it's 8:30 at night. So stores are closed. Everybody who's got like repair guys or like after hour repair guys, they may or may not have what you need to fix the door. And there you are when you're getting ready to, you're like, I want to go home and have dinner. And instead you're trying to figure out a way to seal up your building so you can at least secure the building overnight until they can come back tomorrow to fix the door. So there was so many moving parts, and that's just one example of the hecticness. I guess that's the word. That was November, where I had to put out fires while still being able to be a good dance teacher and work with my students and mold these little creative minds and bodies and give them opportunity and help them do their things, and then still get back in my office later and be like, okay, we still have a business to run. I still have to do all of these other things. It was a lot. So I had to remind myself that you just sometimes have to pause and trust your abilities. I had to pause and go, okay, I've been doing this for 15 years. I have ran my own studio for 15 years. I'm obviously capable. And I had to pause and remind myself that I have to trust the skill set that I've honed over the last 15 years as a business owner and just let myself be guided by that. I also had to trust myself and my teaching ability because maybe I didn't have a chance to review my lesson plan because I was dealing with a broken door. I needed to trust my abilities as a teacher to go in and teach a good class. And I just was like, okay, pause, breathe, and go. And once I reminded myself of that, things got a lot easier. Also, because of all this, I literally wished I could clone myself. I actually at one point turned to my mom and was like, is it still like illegal to like clone human beings? Because I could really use that right now. And apparently you still can't. I couldn't clone myself, at least not to get myself to be adult me like in the moment. So instead I had to just take each day and each task one step at a time. And so there was a moment there where I was like, okay, fix the door. We had a really big fundraiser that our dancers did, and it required a bunch of stuff to be delivered to the studio and distributed. So it was like, fix the door, distribute the fundraiser. We had another fundraiser starting for our team, and that was kind of wrapping up. Like this was all in like a 48-hour time period, these three things. Had to do all of that, and then I'm like, wait, we gotta order costumes. Oh my God, there was like a list. And I was like, you know what? Everything has a due date. And the due dates don't overlap. They're just really, really close. So I was like, one thing at a time, fix the door. Door got fixed. I was like, great. Distribute this fundraiser. Good. That's done. Perfect. Okay. New fundraiser in. We've got that organized, fixed, good, ready to go. I just kept taking things, and I kind of had to, and I hate doing this as a human being, but like make little file folders in my brain where I could like compartmentalize things. I feel like when you compartmentalize too much, you like lose the emotion, and I like to have emotion. But I was able to just kind of say, okay, that's filed away now. That's filed away now. And it made everything so much easier. I also got to kind of wrap up the month, just like a week back, taking time to just immerse myself. So there was a dance convention. Obviously, I was not dancing in it. Highly recommend it. Rutherford Movement Exchange with Steph Rutherford. I knew Steph when she was little. My sister was one of her teachers, and it was so wonderful for me to go back to her dance convention with my students and be able to just kind of immerse myself in learning as an adult, right? I wasn't there to dance. But when you are the studio owner and you're kind of responsible for people, getting them training to doing all that, sometimes you forget that you need training too, right? As a studio owner, it's not like people are like, hey, do you want to go to this professional development thing? I'm like, I'm finding that for my teachers to go to so they can keep evolving, right? And this was a chance for me to sit there and kind of observe, like, and I'm a firm believer that you will learn by watching people do what you do, right? And that's not saying you have to become them or that what you do is not good enough and you need to be someone else. But you can sit back, and I mean, dance teachers, hands up, if you've said things to your students and you're like over and over and they're just not digesting it or hearing it or feeling it, and then someone else walks in the room and says the same thing as you but like in a different way, and they're like, oh, and then they look at you and go, well, why didn't you say that? And you're like, I've literally said that for 2 months. Someone just said it different, and that's how you heard it, and you're like, wow, I've literally been telling them that for months, right? You get so frustrated as a teacher. Well, I found myself sitting at RME watching people's teaching cues and what were kids picking up on and what were they not. And I call kids, like, I mean, really anybody younger than me, I figure, as a kid. So like if you're under 42, you're like, it is, no, that's probably not true. If you're under 20, I like put you in that category, especially if you're one of my dancers and you started dancing with me when you were 3, you will always be 3 in my mind. But there I was sitting watching these amazing dance educators teach in such a beautiful way. And I'm taking notes going like, I like that sentence. That sentence is one that every dancer should hear, whether they're here at a convention or in their dance studio. Or looking over at one of my dancers going, wow, like that you heard those words and it impacted you. I'm going to bring that back to class. Or even just, the way a class gets started or a class gets finished, going like, I need to incorporate that, or I liked that, or that was a good thing. That inspired me. And I was able to keep learning as well as a teacher. And at RME, I really like Steph's philosophy. It very much aligns with my studio's philosophy. So it was just so beautiful for me as a dance teacher, as a studio owner, as a human being, to be in a room where people were so collaborative and so cohesive in this really amazing mindset. And just being able to sit there and watch young artists just do what they do and do it so well. And that was dance. Like there was a little video I took, and I was telling actually one of my teachers the other day, I said, Sunday morning in the interroom, it was literally just, they started with the most beautiful center ballet. I'm like, I literally took a video of them just playing, and it was just beautiful. It was like a breath of fresh air. And I absolutely love that. So I think it was really valuable, a good reminder to me that like, in the past, I've gone to conventions where like teachers can participate. So you're there to dance, or you're there to like watch your students to be like, okay, what are they learning? What can I put in their dances? Blah, 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 blah. And this time I went in going, what can I get out of this? What can I take home with me? Right? How can this make me as Shauna a better teacher? And so I was taking some notes. I was just taking some time to reflect on myself. I really love that one of their lessons or one of their classes, sessions that they took, the students, the dancers, was it was mindset. It was mindfulness. It was mindful practice. And they were encouraged to journal and explore their emotions. And I found myself doing the exact same thing and checking in with myself. And that was really, really beneficial. So never stop learning. No matter how old you get, you are never the top of your game, because there's always something new to learn. You may feel at the top of your game and then you learn something new and you keep evolving. That's how we push. That's how we grow. That's how we get better at what we do. So I really enjoyed doing that. So there's that in the valuable. So there's always something fun. There's always something funny, and there's always something valuable. I mean, a month, you've got 30, 31, unless it's February, whatever. You've got multiple weeks in a month where fun, funny, and valuable things can fill your life, right? They can enrich your life. They can help amplify your job. They can make you feel your purpose better. And that's why I like to check in on this. And November, like I said, it was hectic. It was crazy. I probably cried once or twice. It might have been twice. I definitely ate dinner way too late, way too many days. And if you're a dance teacher, 11 p.m. dinner is just sometimes a real thing. And then there was also moments where I felt really satisfied and really proud and really excited and just pure joy. And those are the things, when you put them all together, and then you can pause at the end of the month like I do in these videos and say, here are my fun, funny, and valuable. And you realize that what you're doing is mutually beneficial. And that's why we keep showing up. And that's why we're wrapping up November. And we're going to show up in December. And we're going to keep doing the thing. And then we get a nice break over the holidays, which refreshes every dance teacher, I think, right? I was talking to another dance teacher at the convention, and she had just said to me, I'm ready for a holiday break. And I was like, dude, me too. Like, I am with you. I'm ready for just a few days away from the studio, just to like reset and regroup. And as dance teachers, we need that too. We need some time away, downtime and time away. There you go. So what we do is special. We are dance educators, but we are also human beings, and we never ever want to forget that. So don't forget to check in with yourself. Take a moment to reflect on your own fun, funny, and valuable, and then maybe set some goals for the month to come, because December is like a day away. Crazy. But I hope you had a wonderful November. I hope that your heart is full and that you're heading into December with some excitement, some joy, maybe some dancing snowflakes if you're doing any holiday stuff. And like I said, our next episode, we're going to talk about how to bring some holiday fun into dance class. So until next time, keep dancing, keep shining, and I will see you soon.